I swear, man. If I had a producer, if I had an editor, like a one-man fucking show here, you know?
What I've learned, and I don't apply this, is for
What I've learned, but I don't apply this.
for
That's me,
social
dude. I learned
media.
so much that I don't apply.
Yeah, for social media, it's definitely quantity versus quality.
Yeah.
So like people just say like just put stuff out. I used to be really a lot more into making sure I'm posting and everything, but I kind of gotten to a point where it's too much mental
Yeah,
clutter
I just love
too.
my life, man. I like to hang out with my wife. I like to hang out with my, my daughter and, smoke and just laugh and drink and, I don't want to be fucking.
My phone goes off at 10. It's too much now. I think it's harming a lot of us. Even talking about like mental is through the roof, or not mental, depression is through
Depression,
the roof with
anxiety.
younger kids, anxiety with younger kids now. I'm sure it is with adults too, but younger kids, I mean, we're seeing rates that,
Yeah,
and
suicide I think is the number one cause of death among teenagers. At least I think among Latina teenagers, which is ridiculous. When I was a teenager, my life's great now, but like, when I was a teenager, I had nothing to worry about. What am I worrying about? Like life is just getting started. You're young. Your whole life is ahead of you. And imagine wanting to end it there. I mean, that's so sad. And that's all social media.
I think social media has a big role. It has to be tough for a parent to keep your
I have a
kids off.
16-year-old stepdaughter, and yeah, it's tough. She's really good with that stuff, though. Girls are weird. I mean, girls really care about material stuff a lot. They care about their appearance a lot. I'm comparing that to how I was as a boy. Like, I didn't care about how the fuck I looked, really. I mean, I guess I tried a little bit, but I wasn't spending hours on my nails or on my hair or shit like that, or wondering what I'm gonna buy. That's really a girl's life, because all the people they follow, like Kylie Jenner, they're following these people that are living this luxurious life, and everybody's trying to attain that. It's like literally the title, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And it's impossible to do that. You cannot keep up with the Kardashians.
I know there's some positivities to social
Yeah.
media, so don't get me wrong. I'm not like saying like, oh, we need to ban it, but whoever doesn't admit that there's an issue with it too, that it's causing mental issues, people are more stressed nowadays, people have more anxiety. I mean, you have to admit that there has to be contributing to it somewhat.
Take a break from social media. Do it for yourself. Like, take a few days off, and you will see an immediate change. Your head's clear. You're enjoying the days. You're enjoying each
And
minute.
my problem has always been, and it's more of an excuse than anything, is work. With work, I have to kind of be up
Yeah.
with what's going on.
Yeah.
That's kind of my job. Like I have to know what's going on. I have to know what's happening in culture.
It's true, because as I can say that as a writer, somebody who has a website, somebody who has a podcast, I can't be like, okay, I'm not going to be on social media, because if
Yeah.
you're not on social media, you don't exist, and that's the
Yeah.
sad, and that's we got to
Yeah.
change that. My wife's like, no, you're pissing in the wind. Like this is the future. What, I have to maintain my Instagram presence, my Facebook presence, my Twitter presence, now my Snapchat, now fucking TikTok. Like, when do I live? When do I read?
Yeah. When you have time for yourself to think, because that's the thing too, is our brains are constantly processing data. Like it's always like input mode. I'm reading stuff, right? TV, like all this stuff, but it needs the time to process that. That's what we don't make enough time, me included. I don't do, I
All of
know I
us,
need
yeah,
to do
yeah.
better. It's like, we need time to process all that we put in our brains and think about it. And that's really where good ideas and just more being at peace will come from. Cause you could think about, well, why did that happen? Maybe I should approach something this way. Or
Back in the day, Jimi Hendrix learned to play guitar the way he did because there was nothing else. There's no distractions. He's
yeah,
just fucking around with the guitar for hours, for days, for weeks, for years. What are the odds of a kid doing that now when there's not only social media, there's fucking, PlayStation 5 just came out. Like, there's so much to do besides developing for thinking, for developing some kind of skill, some kind of talent. You're just scattered. Social media has not left time for originality to come about,
yeah.
right?
Social media not allowing us to come up with epic original art anymore, because you don't really have that mind space to come up with something or to learn something.
Yeah, you
I
need to
mean,
ruminate. It's the shows, it's the movies, right? They're coming back with old
music,
shit. Music,
yeah,
it's all old, it's all regurgitated. And then there's people are always coming up to you, hey, did you see this on Netflix? Did you see this on Hulu? Did you see it? No, man, I didn't. Have you seen Schitt's Creek? I haven't, I saw a few episodes. Oh, you gotta watch the whole thing. Probably, but I don't have the time to watch the whole thing, man. I just don't. I'm sorry.
I try to limit. I mean, obviously, you have to be smart with how you spend your time. So if I am going to watch something, I hope or I try to make it be at least somewhat like I'm going to get some kind of benefit of it
Yeah.
outside of just, I'm not just brain dead watching,
Yeah.
like you're just kind of sitting, staring, like
Well, it's
waiting for
like
it to go.
paleo,
Like,
right? You're trying to not eat processed foods, right? Something that's pure
yeah,
and raw and good for you. And you want that from everything, from your TV, right? You don't want processed TV. You don't want processed music. You want something that's going to benefit you.
I'm trying to learn and understand. I hate when people are so like closed minded. That's the annoying thing about social media, right? Like no one has discussions. Like you say like your shitty comment to someone, or you say like, no, don't do that, blah, 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 blah. You're
Yeah.
not really interested in learning
No.
the other person's point of view. But at the same time, those other people who are putting out their point of view, you can argue that they're also being ignorant too, because they just want to shove their agenda or their thoughts down your throat.
Yeah. As a writer, when I post something, I used to go back and forth with people in the comments and stuff like that. That's when I was younger and, more naive and had more time. It was either going back and forth in the comments, reading or jagging off. But, now I just write my thing. I post it and people will comment it and I don't, whatever. This is what I thought. I'm not going to get back and forth with you in the comments because you don't really care. Nobody reads something really good on the internet and leaves a good comment. They'll go, oh, that's good. It's only when like somebody hates life and hates themselves and hates everybody, they're going to be like, fuck you, you fucking ignorant, blah, 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 blah. And like, so why would you engage with that person?
I've learned that you can also learn from people on it, but you have to pick and choose who you're responding to.
Yeah.
I've tried to respond or comment on people who I know who can be civilized,
Right.
and who are somewhat who I can tell. It's hard to judge if you're intelligent or not, just from social media, but you could kind of do that, right? By how
You
they're
can kind of,
portraying themselves.
if they start doing personal attacks, you can see that they have a weak argument. But if you can talk to somebody
Right,
who's not doing personal attacks, right? You can have a substantive
yeah,
discussion.
I've actually found that to be fairly high quality where I could say, hey, thanks for sharing your thought or opinion on that. What do you think about this? Or I just think this, like, what are your thoughts? That's kind of helped me understand certain people's perspective. But again, you have to be smart with who you talk to, because there's going to be some people where they're just like, just completely shut off because it's stupid and it's dumb and it's, I don't like to hear it. So that's it. And it's like, well, this was stupid. Like I shouldn't have.
Don't you feel stupid too?
At
Like,
all.
and it's 30 minutes go by and you're like, oh man, what the fuck was I doing? Why did I? The older I get, the less I care really about politics, which is funny. The more I know about politics, the less I care about it, because I realize, oh, it's just a back and forth. It's old. It's as old as time, right? The arguments we're having now were in ancient Athens, ancient Rome. They'll be had in another 1,000 years. The world changes by tiny fucking millimeters. Unless there's a revolution, a global revolution, nothing's really gonna change in our lifetime. And so just be happy and be good to people and spread happiness and love and understanding, and patience with people. And that's really all you can do, man. Because
That's what we need more of is spreading more positive stuff instead of our brains are wired to always focus on the negative things all the
yeah,
time because it's survival mode, right? Like that, like going back to cavemen,
yeah,
like that's how you survive. Like you have to pay attention to what's the wrong things because it could be harmful to me. With social media, it's just you're constantly being bombarded by probably there's a good amount of it is negative, and it's just trying to fill our lives with positive love, fill it with love. I've tried my hardest just to follow people that I feel like I'm going to get something positive out of my
yeah.
experience with them. Even like celebrity stuff to me like is
I don't
stupid
follow
stuff. Like
celebrities really. I don't follow
yeah, I don't
vain
care.
people like girls who, they're beautiful, but they're always posting like duck faces. Like, you're beautiful, yeah, but what are you offering, right? To go back to
Social.
paleo, it's like it's a diet of the mind, right? A diet of the soul. If you start to do that, once you start focusing on what you put in your mouth, you're like, okay, I have that under control. Now let me see what I'm putting into my mind, what I'm putting into my soul, right? And you just start dieting your consumption.